Go for it.
We lost the camera. Wait.
Oh, we did, didn't we, over there?
We're good.
Some B flat
What are we doing?
blues.
B flat
B
blues?
flat blues.
B flat
Alright.
blues.
Go and lay down some chords. We'll come in.
Go for it.
All right.
Hello. Welcome to Live at the Back Door with Alchemy Star.
Yes.
My name is Artica, and this is my husband, Art.
Hello.
And we are going to be your hosts for this evening. And tonight we have a very special treat. We have a guest with us here tonight to help us celebrate Veterans Day. And his name is Mr. Ron Bradley. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Pleasure to be here.
Super duper excited
for
about
inviting
this.
me.
Yeah.
It's not
And-
even Halloween. That's good, huh?
Not even Halloween. It's Veterans Day, and we're here to honor our veterans. So for those of you out there who are veterans, thank you so much for your service. We salute you. So since this is all about you, we're going to start with you. And why don't we talk about where you're from? And when you came to the Valley and all that
All
jazz.
right. Well, I was born in Oakland, California, and grew up in Castro Valley, which is in the East Bay, across from San Francisco, and did all my schooling there. And I suppose it wasn't too long that I started getting trumpet because I was 10 years old.
Oh, nice.
And actually in the 6th grade, and my wife tells me, gee, I know you skipped 2nd grade, and that must have been the year or the time they taught spelling, right? And I'm an
Right.
English teacher, so figure that one, right? So it's very interesting I got started because my dad was a trumpet player, pretty fine one, played good jazz. My mom sang on the radio. Before I even know that, I didn't know that till later because they weren't doing it when I started. And one night they went out, and my neighborhood friend came over and said, "Hey, Ron, why don't you get your dad's horn out?" Even though my dad had a horn, and play taps for my family.
And you're
Perfect
like, how do I play taps?
what do I do? I picked it up and I went out and I played taps.
You just did it.
I just did it.
Wow.
So I got this inner urge to take up the trumpet, play. So I went to school. It was mid-year, and they had already had a whole semester of, and everybody's pretty advanced, And I went to the teacher. I'm looking up at her and I say, "Can I start lessons with your group here?" She said, "Well, do you know your fingerings?" I said, "Yes." I had no idea what she was talking about. And I went home and I got my Arbin, had an Arbins, and I went through methodically. My dad taught me, the fingerings are already there. And 3 months later, I was playing a solo with the orchestra.
Wow.
This one.
Bravo.
Wow.
Rakes of
3
mellow.
months. Wow.
3 months.
Wow.
3 months.
See, you guys
hear
have
that, everyone?
You got to practice.
And from that point, I said, I'm going to go to Juilliard. So I actually started Juilliard Fund with a little bottle and collected my coins in there. Never went to Juilliard.
But you had a Juilliard fund.
Yeah, and then in middle school, they called it junior high there. We had 2 years, 7th and 8th grade. And I had a wonderful teacher because he was the band teacher, but he was also a cornetist. And he got me playing around the different clubs, like the Rotary Club and the Kiwanis, playing Carnival of Venice. And I played better then than I do now. And when I got into high school, I had a wonderful teacher all 4 years. And that was just a real growing thing for me. And I methodically went through all the books and
So you had a really great foundation.
good foundation.
Yeah.
And toward the end of my years there, in my senior year, they had a Bay Area contest, and it culminated in being on Dick Clark's bandstand.
Wow.
And so I put together Dixieland Band. We do have a clip here. I don't know
Yeah,
if
we do have a
access
clip
that.
of that.
And we won the Bay Area contest, which competed for national. We actually came in. We heard we came in first actually. To Philadelphia.
1 second, I think we may be having some
It was playing, but it wasn't.
It wasn't, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't playing.
It was playing a black screen, but
Correct.
It's a very neat
Were
video.
they
Yeah.
hearing anything?
Probably not.
I don't think
They
so.
probably weren't hearing anything.
Um,
Too bad. This is the first time we've ever done a live stream, so we're working out all the kinks. It's been fun.
hi,
It's
friends.
been really fun, yes.
Anyway, so you made it all the way.
So we made it all the way, and we came in second, and so we got to play on the Dick Clark show on Treasure Island, and there's a clip of that too. And that was more of a jazz thing. It wasn't Dixieland at that point. And we got $1,000 for the group and beautiful blue blazers.
Oh wow.
And I was interviewed on the radio. We were on TV, KGO TV in San Francisco, for the contest itself. So it was quite a fun experience. So where are we on this? Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. Oh,
We are at,
Oh,
okay.
He's got Army pictures.
Okay, we'll
All
get
right.
there.
Oh,
We'll get there.
Oh, we're too far ahead.
Right
yeah,
now we're
yeah. We need the picture of him.
That was your first picture.
The very
There
first.
we go.
Yeah, that's our first picture.
okay. That's jumping ahead to the Army.
Yes, jumping ahead
Let's
before.
skip my university days.
Yeah, let's
Let's
not,
go back to
let's not
university
go there
for
yet.
right now.
Because there's something significant that happened for me, and well, it wasn't that time. It was later when it came back to trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
First one.
That's it.
You can just show him. It's fine, or you can show
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
So are we live now?
Yeah, we're
Oh, we're
we're
live.
still
We're
live.
still live.
Still,
Yeah.
well, I'm alive.
They're
You
listening
live-
to
you
us
guys are
talking.
alive too. Anyway, so college was 5 years actually. I got a degree in music education,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a wonderful time at San Francisco State College. Then it's university
They couldn't
now,
see it.
and I played in all the groups.
That's what his wife
My
said.
Senior year, I played first trumpet in all of the groups, the orchestra, the band, the jazz band, everything. And so then it's let's see, that's 1965. 65, yeah, that's when I. So then I had been exempted from, of course, the military because I was in college.
Right.
So I knew it was
Because
coming.
Vietnam is happening, people.
Yep,
In case you aren't aware of
yep.
the
And so
timeline.
So, yeah, I was at 2S, I believe it's called. Then I knew it was coming. I got my draft notice, and I had a choice. I could either join the regulars and have a pick of where to go for a year and a half, after which I would go anywhere they send me. And instead of just drafting, which I still probably gotten in the Army band, but it was, a lot of guys were going to Vietnam.
Yeah.
So we're there, and some interesting stories about. I was at the Presidio, San Francisco, which was 35 miles home. My grandmother used to say, "What kind of army is this? You're home every weekend, no uniform or anything, And so one of the stories is at the Presidio, San Francisco, was the elite base. There were 14 generals on that post,
Oh wow.
and it's and it's right there in San Francisco by the Bay Bridge, beautiful. And apparently Chet Baker had been posted there previous to me. The story is Chet Baker went out to the flagpole, and every day a trumpet player has to go out, they're scheduled to go out and play to the colors to bring the flag. Da-ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da. He goes out and plays do dee ba do 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 dee, all the things you are, and gets shipped off to Korea.
Oh man.
And he was there in the 50s after the war. But then the story, and I'm sure this is true, he was used to sneak across to North Korea and play with the guys over there. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can imagine Chet Baker doing that. Okay, so one day, this is my year and a half is up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down cleaning the latrine, washing out the sink. Sergeant comes down, it's down in the basement, comes down and says, "Hey Bradley, you want to go on a trip?" I knew something was coming. I said, "Where to, Sergeant?" "Korea."
Ooh.
Oh man. 7 of us went to Korea, the rest of them, I guess it was 21 altogether. 7 of us went to Korea, the rest went to Vietnam. And so I went and called my mom, and she's in tears. I have to go any place at all. And I'm happy as a lark. And so I'm off to Korea, and I get first chair there. And that was very interesting for me because most of the guys pretty much were stuck on the base. They had no interest in getting off the base and meeting, the local people, the Korean people. And I was just the opposite. And I had, when I first got there, I just had a bunk assigned to me. By the way, it was mid-August, 100.
Very hot and humid, right? Yeah.
So I'm lying in a bunk bed with nothing on hardly, and a big, huge fan with washcloths. But then a bunk opened up for me, and the guy who had been teaching English to families. He said, "Would you like to have my students?" I said, "Yeah."
Oh.
So I inherited his students, and so that's what got me off the base, got me interested in Korean culture. We had dinners, meals together. I learned how to use our metal chopsticks. In fact,
They're a
I
little
became
bit
so good I
different,
won a ice picking up contest. And during the time, I got some friends, and we went camping in the Sarak Mountains, pour down rain, stayed at a Buddhist monastery for 6 days, traveled down to Jeju-do, the island south of the island, the main island. It's not an island, it's a peninsula, excuse me. Japan's an island.
Yes.
And then got discharged, and I had a music degree to teach. I didn't want to teach music, and I still don't want to teach music. Although I do for private students. And so, what am I going to do with my life? And all this Korean experience came back to me, so I enrolled. Somebody just told me again, like picking up the trumpet, told me to enroll in linguistics courses at San Francisco State. So I studied phonetics and linguistics and whatnot, and then went over to Berkeley, UC Berkeley, to enter a master's degree over there. Met a Korean guy, and we hit it off real big, and just had a wonderful time. I was learning languages and theoretical linguistics after about a year and a half. Then, of course, it all broke out in 1970, the Vietnam riots. So now they've closed the university. What am I going to do now? At which point, a friend of mine who had been in Korea with me gives me a call from New York after he had been discharged. Said, "Hey, Bradley, do you want to go to this new program up in Vermont? It's this new school called the School for International Training. They have a new master's in teaching English as a second language." Right in the phone, I said, yes. No question. I was tired of the theater linguistics. I was tired of Berkeley. I was tired of the riots. When I was in Korea, I went through the Pueblo crisis where they captured the spy ship. I was on guard duty in the middle of winter, guarding the general's house with an M14 loaded rifle, and then the war bunker with 10 feet thick walls with a 45 strapped to my. That was my. Oh, you can't miss this one. My secondary duty, going back to Korea, was, and there's always another duty you have to do, not just playing trumpet all the time. Which was
Well, I
great.
was going to ask you about that actually, if
Yeah.
you want to go into detail about what is it that a trumpeter does
Okay.
in the service.
Well, I told you about the taps and things.
Right.
Well, I was now a Spec 5. Well, that was pretty good, so I didn't have to do any of the KP, any of the extra
But you
duties.
did when you started out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You mentioned boot camp. We call it basic training in the Army, and that was Fort Ord. And went through. Well, my orders didn't come through for 3 weeks after everybody left, so I was cleaning the ovens with lye, digging ditches, until my orders came through. And I went to the Presidio, and I stepped right in there. So then in Korea.
So what's like a day like? What would you do?
It was practicing.
Okay, so you did a fair amount of
every
practice.
day we practiced.
All right.
We had lots of parades. We went off in the Presidio. We actually went off to schools and performed.
Okay.
We actually flew down to Yuma, Arizona, and the DC-3 that blew its tire on landing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the guys previous day looked out. Oh God, it looked like flames were coming out of it. So that was fun. We took a boxcar up to Reno to march up there, and we were all wearing parachutes.
Wow.
We had strapped on parachutes.
Okay.
So the day was, it was interesting. We practiced individually. We practiced with the band, and we marched, and it was all music.
Mm-hmm.
However, during that time also in San Francisco, I was able to play with a quartet that went and played with the officers' clubs around San Francisco, in the Presidio as well as Treasure Island and other places. So that was kind of fun. That's where I got to keep my jazz.
I was going to say, so you probably played in a more jazz atmosphere then, and then the other stuff was more like Sousa marches.
Well, we had a jazz band too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we had a jazz band, military jazz band. But before, let me just go back a little bit, sandwich in here. Before the Army, I was playing with a 10-piece ballroom band in San Francisco, big ballroom called the Carousel Ballroom. We had Cy Zender came through, Buddy Rich came through,
Oh, wow.
Harry James came through. This is kind of a funny story. I went back to the band room, and there's Harry James sitting in a lounge chair in his skivvies, warming up with Clark Nichols study. That was a riot. I wish I had a camera.
If it were today, you could have just whipped out your phone and been
Yeah.
like, I got you.
Then my next gig was a Mexican band in the Bay Area.
Okay.
Within about a year and a half. So that brings me back to where I'm jumping all over the place here, aren't I?
It's all right.
It's all right.
I think we should take a break and have a song soon.
What do you
though.
want to do?
Let's play T for Two.
Tea for two. All right.
Yeah. You want to do the melody?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll do it, just kind of do-do, ba-do, ba-do, ba-do,
Sure.
ba-do, 1, 2.
Nice.
All right.
Well, that was fun. That was a little T for two. Speaking of T for two, I would like to take this small moment to give a shout out for some anniversaries that we have from our friends. I do believe that today is Dave and Colleen McCann's anniversary. I think their 16th. Happy anniversary. And also our dear friends Matt and Gina Harris. I'm not sure what year this is for them. I think, I don't know.
2011?
Yeah, they were married in 2011, so that puts it at, I can't do math, 11 years.
Yeah, there you go.
11/11 on the 11th. Happy anniversary, everyone, and have a little tea for two.
All right.
Back to our interview.
So where are we? I think I am in graduate school now,
Okay.
Yes.
but not in music. It is the School for International Training,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a brand new program. They were the first Peace Corps training center, and so everything they did was very experiential.
Experiential.
Experiential, yeah. We had great professors who were in the field. One of the main people who designed the program was a State Department linguist. So they're really top-notch people, and it wasn't just just professors doing this. All the professors were really good. And we were a group of 28, and it so happened my dear wife Ellen was also there. She had just gotten back from Geneva, Switzerland, after spending 3 years there, learning and speaking French. That was her major in college, and so she was a dual master's degree program in French and English. And so I was teaching linguistics because I knew more than the professor.
Oh.
I hope this doesn't get broadcast. And so I was teaching her linguistics, and so we linked up, and we just had our 51st anniversary.
And you know this. We've talked about this before, but you know that you share an anniversary with Art and I, right? August 29th.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Different year.
Yes. Different year.
1971, and yeah,
And we are 2009.
and that's
So,
cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
That is awesome.
Catch up someday. So we get our degrees and we get jobs right away because the school now is really influential in the area in the East Coast. And I was teaching English to children in an elementary school in New Haven, and Ella was teaching French at a middle school in Norwalk. And after 2 years, we got the urge to go abroad. So we interviewed for a job in Japan, and we were selected. There were 30 of us that were hired, mostly with master's degrees in the field, to teach English to businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the materials we inherited were designed by New York University. They were the worst materials in the world for teaching. And so we were complaining, the companies were complaining, and so they hired 4 of us to rewrite the program, which I was one of them. And so for the next 3 years, a little over 3 years, I was a writer and editor of language materials and books for Time Life.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was really a great experience.
So you could absolutely say that your formative years in the military, like, absolutely
Yeah,
shaped your
I have
future.
no idea what I'd be doing now if that had not happened.
Wow.
And since then, I've done a lot of. So has Alan, been to Korea many times to train teachers over there, and that's what we do now, full time. Not full time now, was for the last 20 years. When we came back from Japan, we didn't have a job. 2 kids born in Japan, and it's interesting how this happened. With no job, came back, and what we're going to do. I had applied for one in Hawaii, didn't get that. I applied for one in Portland, didn't get that. And Alan's parents moved to Grand Junction from Chicago the same month we moved back to the States from Japan.
Mm.
So, of course, we went to Grand Junction. I sent them ahead by plane, and I drove our little Honda Civic.
The one that you still have?
No,
Oh, that was
no,
a different one?
that was a 77. First thing I did was, we had driven a year in Japan on the left side of the road. So that's what I try to do when I get out of LA, is drive on the left side. My friend says, "What are you doing?" "Oh, yeah, we're okay." But it refers culture shock, So So I was driving out there, and I stopped at Winnemucca. Everybody knows what Winnemucca, Nevada is, right?
Mm-hmm.
To call Ellen to see how things were going, and says, Ron, you've got to call this person in Western Illinois University. They were looking. Oh, they had put an ad in the Chicago Sun Times, I think it's called, looking for a person with Japan experience with a master's. What I have.
Oh, wow.
She calls her parents, tells us, she tells me to call this person. I call her, come on out, you got a job. We had a job within 2 weeks, return both of us.
Wow.
In which I became a director of after 2 years. We were there for 8 years. And this is significant because I hadn't played trumpet at all, probably for about, I don't know, for probably about 10 years. Some, not much. And this is where I got back into playing. In 1981, the guitar player was one of my staff members, my teachers, and he says, and he played jazz. He says, yeah, so we got together and played a little bit. And I thought, wow, just like starting over again, like when I first started when I was 10. I gotta play. So I went over to the band instructor, Dale Hopper. They had 4 jazz bands, great program.
Wow.
And so I said, Dale, can I sit in with the 4th jazz band, just to get my chops? 4th trumpet, 4th band, right? Oh, but nothing here. At the end of the semester, he said, Ron, my lead trumpet in my first band is going to Colorado. I need you to play lead in my first band, which I did. That was
That's pretty cool.
chop
Yeah.
cover. So then we went on tour, and a young man, we discovered this great range, and we gave him a scholarship, so he became the lead trumpet player. I played second, and we went to the Elmhurst Jazz Festival, Chicago, in '85, and we were competing with, Illinois University, with DeKalb, with all the big hot bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who came in first?
You guys.
We came in first. Why? We played dynamics, we played bassy, we had the high chops, and I got an award for the jazz.
That is
Well,
so
all
cool.
right. Look at that.
College Jazz Festival certified that was awarded my name. West Illinois University was awarded Outstanding Musicians of Trumpet recognition during the Elmhurst College Jazz Festival. Signed Louis Belson, Bunky Green, Warren Kime, and Frank Mantooth.
Oh, wow. Can we put that into the camera a little bit? All right, get a good shot of that. There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that means a lot to me. We played A Train.
Uh-huh.
And but the downside of it, because we won, we did a performance, and I had to play a duo with Bunky Green, one of the hottest jazz players in Chicago at that time. I mean, he was a monster. So man, we're doing Groovin' High. So I'm listening to that thing over and over, trying to get the chords down, and I may have not embarrassed myself too much, but it was scary.
Those are our learning experiences, though, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I know which way to go.
Yeah. I
I
think
never find myself in that situation
yeah.
again.
I've had those experiences. I know you have,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It teaches you.
The moment of reckoning.
I would
Yeah.
like to look at some of the pictures that you brought along, and maybe we can talk about some of them.
Sure.
So,
Okay, that's taken at the Presidio San Francisco. It was a formal shot set up. That's too bad it's not in color, but those are our dress blues. Really beautiful uniform, and that's a Besson trumpet they gave us. And here's Korea, our marching band. So we marched all the time, unless it got below 28 degrees, then we didn't march.
oh wow,
Okay.
28 degrees above, we marched outside.
that is cold.
Yes, it is.
Was your uniform pretty warm though? Or?
Well, we had these hats that covered our ears. They made us sew the flaps up because they didn't look good.
So your ears were
Oh, no.
freezing for
Yeah.
fashion.
Yeah. Well, one day I did
In the
have,
All
Army.
for fashion. All for
one day I
fashion.
did have to play taps
Mm-hmm.
at 6 a.m. at 5 degrees.
Oh my God.
How did you?
Mouthpiece in my hand. Boom! Don't touch the valves; they'll freeze. Play that sucker as fast as you can. And they weren't recorded. Now they're recorded. But no, we had to go out there because by rank I didn't have to do it, except this one time I got stuck doing it.
So, now, do you know do they use recordings now, or do they still use trumpet players? to go out?
I'm not sure.
I'm very
I imagine
curious
they
about
still
that.
do. Of course, the Presidio is no longer an Army base. It was bought by who's the guy with Star Wars? Lucas.
Lucas. Okay.
Turned it into a big studio.
If anyone knows what modern day trumpeters have to do, if they if they have to play taps and reveille still, I would like to know. If anyone knows, please leave that in the comments. Thank
I
you.
hope they do.
Yeah, that'd be much better than like a recording,
and
right?
going down and play all the things you are too.
Like Chet Baker. That's awesome. So let's go back to those pictures.
Oh, that one's in Korea. Good buddy of mine. You see, there's no prejudice there. Wonderful trumpet player, and we were probably on our way. I don't know, do a rehearsal or someplace for the march. I don't know which. Just a casual shot.
I like it. Very candid. Waiting for the next.
Yeah, I had one in the wrong spot.
My faithful.
That's
Brother.
also in Korea. An outdoor concert, probably at a high school or something. I think he's in Korea. It might be in Presidio concert someplace. Oh yeah, okay. I mentioned our secondary duty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I drove the general's mess truck, 2.5-ton tractor trailer,
Oh man.
to a secondary base called Pyeongtaek, which is 30 miles south of Seoul, in case of attack from the north.
Oh wow.
Okay, so this is a latrine. I'm waiting to go in the latrine. I used to wear a gas mask. It really worked pretty well. One on the left is a set-up comedy shot. We're pounding tent stakes, and
It looks like you're getting pounded in the head.
yeah.
About.
So getting back to Pyeongtaek, so I have to back this thing into a thatched roof hut. I got about an inch on each side. I get that sucker in beautiful. My third duty is to serve the officers, okay? And I have to, outside I have this gold pan full of water, and they wash themselves, they give them a towel, they wash them, really low class. Then I have to serve them, right? Take their food around. So I get her around, there's one general, the rest are all lieutenants and captains or whatever. And I get her around, and he's over here, and I said, "Sir, are you ready for dessert?" He says, "Son, I have not had my meal yet."
Oh.
What happened?
Don't remember.
Oh no.
He said, "Coming right up, sir." Maybe I probably said something best, save for best for last. I don't know. I didn't say that. Sure. Anyway, and then the Navy had the audacity to do a flyover right above the general's quarters, which is a truck basically with camouflage. I picture that. Not here though.
It's not here. Okay.
And this Phantom F4 flies about 300 feet off the ground. I can see the pilot go by. I don't know how fast he's going, but he ripped the camouflage right off the thing and knocked the guard down.
Ah!
Oh, man.
And the general runs out and starts cussing out the Navy.
Of course. So there's a big rivalry between the Navy and the Army,
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
What caused you to choose the Army?
Well, my brothers were both in the Army,
Okay.
and my dad was in the cavalry playing cornet trumpet back in
So there's a little
Well,
history,
little history, and of course the Presidio was right there.
right? So
I
you didn't
did-
have to go far. You
I-
could go home
I-
on weekends.
And I didn't have to go to their Navy school. Most guys had to go to the school in Virginia,
Mhm.
and I got to go right from there because I had a graduate degree and I was first trumpet in all the parts, so I didn't have to audition or anything, and so that was fine for me, fine with me. I hate auditions.
It made it much easier, huh?
Yeah, it made it a lot easier. So now we are at Western Illinois University, and I did quite a bit of playing there after I took it up. Played with a quintet. We did gigs as far away as St. Louis, which was a 5-hour drive, and that was a lot of fun. Again, building my jazz chops a little bit. And I mentioned the big band, and we won the contest.
Mm-hmm.
So after we were there for 8 years, and we desperately wanted to leave Illinois all that time. Climate, I California. What do you want?
Oh, I know. We know.
And so I tried to get Mesa College to, advise us out. Finally, we get a call from the Dean of Humanities, who's friends with my wife's parents, and said, "Ron, you want to come out to our program?" Yep. So we moved out there, and I was told, if you don't have any students, there's no job. Well, I had a lot of contacts built up by then from our program, especially Japanese. And so we got started. Came off good, got a good start. Built that program for, 77 to 86. And I was then coming up here in 86. 92, I guess it was. We went independent from the college and rented the space across the street and had our own school.
Oh, nice.
For, I think it was 8 years until 2000. The Japanese economy went down the tubes. We closed. Got invited to go out to California, start a program out there for another school. So out there for 2 years. And then went into teacher training and moved back here and had our own training programs in California and Chicago and Boston. Did that till 2013, and then just went independent. We're doing a lot of State Department training programs for people around the world, teachers around the world. That's what we still do. And I'm playing now with 7 groups, a symphony, mariachi.
And I play with Ron in the mariachi group.
Yes, great player. And 2 of Clark Galt's groups, big band and a 10-piece.
Okay.
A Frank Breger's 10-piece dance band. A brass quintet. Dixieland when we have it.
The Rockestra?
Rockestra. Yeah. Practically anything that comes along. So we have the gala tomorrow. We have Simeon playing a jazz orchestra, Western Colorado Jazz Orchestra tomorrow night, and the symphony, with and then another rehearsal Sunday evening with Clark, and a Monday night gig with Javier.
You stay very busy.
Mm-hmm.
All of you local people who live in the Grand Junction area, please come out and support your local music groups. We depend on you, and it's great for culture. Yes.
Yeah. That's my life history.
That is quite something. That's quite something. Let's play another tune, and then we'll go back to those pictures, and then finish it out. Yeah. Okay.
So we're doing
Bye
Bye Blackbird.
Bye Bye Blackbird.
Right.
I'll sing this one.
Right. Should we play the head and you want to sing then?
Sure.
All right. Good for you. Got it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hard work has an opportunity. Make my way life all the right way tonight. Blackbird, bye-bye.
Almost there.
I was gonna say tag it, but it's
I know.
okay.
It's all right.
I was getting up a step. Just like we rehearsed though, right?
Right, just
Yes.
like we didn't rehearse, but hey.
Hey, it's not.
It's jazz.
It's jazz.
It's all
Mine-
jazz.
All right.
Cool. Let's go back to some of those pictures.
All right.
Talk about them.
What do we have here? Oh, that's a formal dress blues uniform. Again, which was in color with our helmet, with our marching helmet. You saw that helmet in our marching, when we were marching.
So were the uniforms different for band members? Or was
No.
it the same for just
Same, yeah.
okay.
But she wore a white scarf, really, and
Very striking.
white gloves, and our boots are, had to be absolutely pristine every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've already mentioned that we used to have to go to the rifle range too. And of course, in basic training, I had to shoot an M14, and I was an expert. Came in first of my platoon
Wow.
until the guy came out of sick bay and beat me.
Oh, this is a cool picture.
Oh yeah, we're stringing barbed wire for something I don't remember what.
I'm guessing you're in Korea.
This is Korea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's Korea.
And
That's one of my students with me. I don't know why I'm in a suit and tie.
maybe you were
True.
teaching.
I didn't wear a suit and tie to teach.
Some kind of graduation, maybe.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, I was showing one of my students anyway. Two families I worked with. Okay, here's a funny story. That just reminded me. That's not a funny story in itself, but it reminds me of one. When we were in Pyeongtaek in the secondary base, we had a lot of Korean military there with us. They call it the Tiger Division, and when they went to Vietnam, the VC were deadly afraid of this division. They were ruthless. One guy bit off the head of a snake one time, live snake. That's what they did.
Wow.
So these guys loved sugar. And when they had cereal, we'd have a whole bowl of sugar and the sugar would just disappear. So one day we put salt in the bowl.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Now, I don't remember what happened.
Is that what that picture's about?
I would just, no, that's
just what-
how we ate.
That's what you were eating in.
Yeah.
Okay. That was
Last picture.
your mess hall.
Mm-hmm. Well, we ate wherever we could.
Ate
Well,
wherever.
we did have tents for, to eat.
Mm-hmm.
That was outside though, I think.
All right.
Is that all the pictures? Any more pictures?
Yeah.
That's the last picture.
I think that was the last one.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'd like to show this here. When I was in high school, I got to play with this guy, Rafael Mendez, 4 times. And I was in a trumpet trio with him. And there's a picture of a trumpet trio, no?
Yeah, there is a rough. There is. Should
There's
be.
missing pictures that don't load.
They're not
Oh.
loading.
Oh, okay.
That's too bad. There
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
so this here has his autograph.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
this was at a, did I show this already, this thing here?
No.
No.
Okay, this was I won an award for summer camp. And this says, Outstanding Music Student, San Leandro Summer Music Camp, 1958, Ronald W. Bradley. And so Mendez presented these to me. So that's pretty awesome.
That's very special.
All right.
And so, yeah. Then the other one, I have an autograph of Doc Severinsen. We went to a UOP, University of Pacific,
Mm-hmm.
to a recital, not recital, but what do you call it, a workshop. And he was performing there, and what amazing guy. He was about probably in the mid-30s at that point, 1969. And he's the reason why I'm not a professional musician today. I mean, doing it full time. I heard him, I said, man, that's what it takes to be. That was 1962. And so my little ticket I got won the prize, the album, and the signature. So we're friends, we're sitting next to him. My mom's the other side, he's in the middle. And he says to Doc, says, do you teach? Yes, Doc, he teaches, you know, thinking he's gonna open up a place for me to, anyway, that's my mom. Yeah, this is pretty good too. I think she don't use scotch too, oh gosh,
Those are treasures.
yeah.
You should laminate that whole thing.
Oh, this was another picture that was up there, but I don't think it showed. In the 8th grade here,
Okay.
Wow.
on the left there, that's me. The, I don't know if you remember this magazine
Yeah,
about the school musician.
Yeah.
Oops.
You got a good shot of that? Here, let's.
There you go.
Me on the left, the little guy.
There he is.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a very fun experience having you with us today. Before we wrap it up, do you have any words for maybe a young trumpet player who might be thinking about a career in the service?
Well, it's a great career. You're guaranteed to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bands are, many of them are really good. If you want to get in a really good band, you got to be good. You know, pretty good. And the ultimate are your Washington D.C. bands, like
Right.
the military, the Air Force band, Navy band. Those guys are could play any place. I mean, they're the elite players.
Right.
Besides, when you think of the career they have, they get to play all the time. They're not going to get fired.
That's
Job security.
Job security, right?
Yeah.
Job
Yeah.
security.
I mean, you have to be willing to kind of be regimented.
Mhm.
Your life is not really your own a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you're told what to do and you have schedule, you stay by it. Of course, if you belong to any company, that should be that way too. But military is even more so, I think.
Mhm.
If there's a war going on, you know, you never know if you're going to be sent.
Right.
Yeah.
Those guys in D.C. probably are exempt if you're that good. But, you know, like I was in the Presidio in the middle of the Vietnam War. I'm sure I was there, you know, there a couple of years ago I'd be going to Afghanistan. And when you go abroad, you're not a musician anymore. You're a soldier.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
You lose your...
And the musicians get the worst of it. They get to be the lead guys.
Oh.
Now, here's another fun story. In the Presidio, we had some
terrible.
Vietnam training, right? So we go above the Golden Gate Bridge in some remote area there, and there's we have the enemy up here, and we are walking. One of the 3-point men, the third one here. First thing we do is trip a grenade. Boom, we're dead, right? So I hit the ground. I hit the ground. My helmet flies off. My glasses fly off. I land on my glasses. I pop the lens out. I'm fishing around trying to find my lens and put it back in the glasses, right? In the meantime, we're getting shot by machines up here, even though we're already dead from the grenade.
You already did.
So I said, boy, am I glad I'm not going to Vietnam.
Oh my gosh. Would have been a different experience, huh? Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'll never forget that.
All right. Well, let's close with one last tune.
Is this taps now? Or?
No, let's do... You wanted to play Swing,
Oh,
Still
swing
doing
Low?
Swing
Sure.
Low, Sweet
I'll do it
Chariot.
on this to warm up for the taps.
Sure. Swing Low, Swing Chariot.
I'll do
And
it
I'm not going to sing,
Okay.
just play
I'll
to...
do just a slow thing without anything, just me. And then we'll do kind of an up thing.
Ron, thank you so much for
Yes.
being on our show tonight. It has been truly a pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise.
And I'm sure all of you out there, all of our viewers, agree with us. It's been such a pleasure to have him on our show.
You're gonna have to give them the test now to track everything, right? To see if they got it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. The quiz at the
The
end.
quiz. They got to write their quiz. And again, thank you, service members, all branches,
Yes.
not just the Army. Thank you so much for your service. We really, everyone feels it from the bottom of their hearts today.
Yes.
And we're going to close with a special song by Ron that I'm sure y'all know.
This is the one I started my playing career with. You remember
That's
when I
right.
went outside to play for my friend's family? What was it?
It's a quiz. Thank you so much. Thank you.